Twisha Christian back. Today, I'm going to deal with lost money and unclaimed money. I just wanted to show you guys here that people are looking it up. They're looking up their names, looking up, deceased loved ones' names, and they're finding money. And I just want to highlight this particular subscriber that I have here, Steve M. All right, and he says here, TC checked your lost money suggestion and found a claim for 100 plus in my name from 10 years ago. Put a claim for it, and I'm learning how much it will be. Thanks a ton. Now, most of the unclaimed sites or state sites don't list the exact amount. It's either below 100 or above 100. So he didn't really know for sure. So I replied, "Wow, that is awesome. Give me an update when you find out. Also, don't forget to check family names as well." Okay, that was 2 weeks ago. Okay, and this just happened today. And it's a Twisted Christian. I just received a WA state check for 358, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Credit goes to you. Thanks. Well, you're welcome, Steve. And I appreciate you letting me know and letting our my subscribers know that you did find some lost money. So that's really appreciated. And just for everybody out there, everybody needs to do this. Whatever state that you lived in, whatever state you may have had a business in or business dealings in, because it's just not about personal money. Some of you have businesses, or maybe you have dealt with businesses. You might have lost money in your business name. Maybe you started something. Maybe you ran it for a number of years, and then you shut it down. And so you might have something that's out there. Now, if you're a corporation, for some reason, if you're a corporation and you're listening to this, you're a CEO, somebody in there, you definitely want to take a look at what states you operate in and how much money that you guys have in lost funds or unclaimed funds. So one of the things I wanted to focus on is that not only to check your name, your own name, and in the states that you live in, but also to check deceased loved ones. Now, some of you who are younger, you might be in your 20s or even in your early 30s. You might have a little something out there. Maybe you move from place to place. Maybe you have an unclaimed deposit, an unclaimed over insurance payment check from a former job. There's so many different reasons why you might have money that is in the system. So as an example, this is what we're going to do. Let's say, for instance, you live in Iowa. Right, so all we're going to do is type in unclaimed money, Iowa. All right, so we go here and the Great Iowa Treasury Hunt, iowatreasurer.gov. So you want to make sure there are some states that do use unclaimed fund websites instead of running their own, which I think is ridiculous, but this is the way that they do it. So Iowa, so we'll go ahead and click on Iowa. Okay, so you go here, and most sites are going to be like this, and there's always going to be usually another link that you're going to click on. So Iowa here, they have over 265 million in their unclaimed lost money funds, which isn't very much compared to some other states. So they look like, it says we have returned more than $250 million. So it looks like Iowa's doing really good in getting money back to their people. So that's all you would do is just, type in your name. If you have a very common name, you're going to have to remember your address or at least the city that you lived in. If you are searching for a deceased loved one, if you have parents that have passed away and maybe they have a very common name, you're going to have to know every state that they ever lived in, whether or not if they were in the military, maybe they had a business. Okay, and then you as the child would have rights to that claim because they're deceased. Now, of course, if there are multiple family members that can lay claim to it, if you find something, more than likely you're going to have to contact them, let them know. So that's just one example of just typing in unclaimed money in the state that you live in. Now, I have prepared a Google document. It will be below down in the description. All right, and so I have instructions here. links to finding and receiving lost money. You're just going to do your Google search, unclaimed money, and visit this, type in your state and unclaimed money, and visit the Treasury State website and follow the instructions to search and claim for your lost money. You also can call the number provided by the state website and call to verify your funds. They can also run your Social Security number for additional claims that may not be in the system, or maybe there's a wrong address. See, a lot of times, from what doing my research, you can have unclaimed money just because somebody on the other end of the phone wrote down the wrong digit or didn't put the right digit in the system, and then boom, it's lost. All right, so you can also go to missing money and unclaimed.org, and you could kind of do your research there. Here we have unclaimed benefits, retirement benefits. Now, some of you, maybe if you worked for factories a long time ago, like I said again, you may have parents. There should be nothing wrong with you going and searching for your parents' name if they are deceased, and even if they're alive. Maybe they're not computer literate. Sometimes some people have found money for their own family members. All right, so the unclaimed retirement benefits, you definitely want to check that. Unclaimed back wages, that's very difficult because you can't search by name. You can only search by company, which is ridiculous, but that's just the way they have it set up. Sometimes there are companies that close for whatever reason. Maybe the government sued a company because they weren't paying their employees correctly, and maybe you had already left the company, so they had to report whoever didn't get their money. Maybe they had to report it to the government. All right, so that's you can check that too. If any of you or a family member that has been deceased that has unclaimed veteran affair funds, there's another site there. All right, and here's another one, the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation. You do that, you search your name there. Also, any kind of bank failures, you may, especially if you're younger, you may not have anything, but you just never know just by searching your name. All right, I'm going to pass on the treasury hunt bonds because that's a very difficult thing to do if you're just looking that you may or may not have lost bonds, but that's a very difficult process. All right, FHA insurance refunds. This is going to affect you, especially if you were older and maybe at one time you were maybe low income, or maybe you took out a special loan for housing. You may have a refund due here. All right, and then we're going to go to the life insurance search. Now, for many of you, this could be big. You just never know. There are people that have found stuff that they never knew they had. All right, so this website here asks for your Social Security number. So if you put it in, you could do a search. But also, too, if you have a deceased loved one, a deceased family member, a deceased wife or husband, mother or father, aunt or uncle, you don't know. So when you're preparing to do your search, depending on how many family members you have, just make sure you have everything on paper. Make sure you have places where they may have lived, in everything, especially if you're in the military. Because if you had a family member or a mother or father or a deceased husband that was in the military for a long period of time, and you guys moved from place to place to place. Yeah, you may have started bank accounts. People forget. You would be surprised that somebody will put $500 in a bank account, and then totally forget that they even have it because of maybe life issues or they moved or whatever the case. Just know, guys, and I want to help everybody that I can. And especially if you've earned money and it's out there, I want everybody to get it. Even if you're a corporation, whatever the case is, go out there, try to find that lost money. Now, I just want to say that when you are looking for yourself or you're looking for family members, sometimes you got to be careful. Just make sure that you tell them that if you are looking for family members that are still alive, that you found it in the process of looking for yourself. All right. Some people get really offended, even family members, even though something good could have came out of it. They still get funny, especially friends. Anyway, so I just wanted to leave you guys with that, and just know that you guys might have something out there. All right, like Steve here, he had $358. What if, some of you might have that kind of money out there? Some of you might even have more. Steve, you might have more. Just make sure that you're checking every possibility. Deceased loved ones. I don't know if you're married. Just make sure you go through most of those main links here. I'm not too concerned about the IRS, but you just never know with a life insurance search for deceased ones. So thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to check. And if you guys like the videos that I'm doing, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to check out my Patreon because I'm going to be doing videos. I'm doing videos that will be for Patreon users only, because I cannot say what I really want to say concerning a lot of things that's about my channel and about the topics that I discuss. It's the only way that I can do it. You guys will be blown away by some of the things that are out there, especially when it concerns things I talk about on my channel. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Thank you guys for listening, and have a great day.